Happy Saturday, everyone. We are going to be talking about the community of Pedasí today. So if you've been considering moving here and wondering if it's for you, we are going to be talking with Jonathan Clay of Panama Sovereign Realty. He's been here. How many years have you been here?
I've been in Panama now 13, going on 14 years, and in Pedasí about 10 years.
So he is a pretty good source of information for everything Pedasí. So we're going to talk about healthcare and schools and pros and cons and everything in between. So if this is the kind of content you want, you need to make sure that you hit subscribe, click that notify button so you know every time we upload a video on this Saturday. Make sure you join the I Go Panama Facebook group, over 25,000 people strong, asking and answering questions about anything and everything Panama every single day. In fact, Jonathan is in the group and he can answer your questions as well. And don't forget our website, fireworks. Everyone's excited about I Go Panama here, I guess. Don't forget our website, igopanama.com, where you can find information on businesses, articles for expats and for tourists, just a huge information resource. All right, we'll be back with Jonathan to talk about everything Pedasí after the break. So Jonathan, I've never been to Pedasí before. This is my first day here. So I'm really kind of leaning on your expertise to help educate the expats as to why Pedasí might be a good fit for them. So if someone is looking at Panama and obviously if you're coming to Pedasí, you're looking for more of a beach community, right? Because this isn't a mountain area.
Right.
So what are some of the other things that would draw expats to Pedasí?
Okay, well, welcome to Pedasí, by the way. I'm happy to have you here. Pedasí is a small town, about 4.5 hours drive from Panama City. We're quite a rural setting. You know, as you drive through the countryside, you can see cattle farms, rice farms, sugarcane farming. Pedasí as a community itself, it's quite a laid-back lifestyle here, which is one of the big attractions. Of course, we're on the coast, so we have tons of beach, and that entails everything water-based. So surfing, fishing, diving, just hanging out on the beach. It's sort of a relaxed beach lifestyle.
Lots of whale watching too during season, right?
Right now, there's great whale watching, humpback whale watching. Yeah, you can go to the beach. You don't have to even go out on a boat. You can go right to the beach and see these whales swimming by and even breaching right offshore. It's incredible.
Wow.
You can go swimming and snorkeling and you can hear them singing underwater. It
wow.
Really is amazing.
That's cool.
And that's happening right now. We're in the middle of the whale season, the height of the whale season. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool. You'll see the mothers breaching, and then you'll see the babies also breaching, learning how to breach. So
wow.
It's a special time of year. Also, right now, in terms of the natural environment, we have the turtle egg laying season just really beginning. This is a very renowned area for olive ridley sea turtle breeding.
Oh, nice.
Down in Isla Cañas, which is about a 40-minute drive and then a very quick boat ride over to the island. It's a world-renowned site for olive ridley sea turtle nesting and hatching, and that really culminates around October, November. So yeah, that's another sort of natural.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Thing that you can see here in the Pedasí area. So there's a lot of adventure to be had in Pedasí. The kind of expat, the kind of person who's really drawn to Pedasí is one who's also drawn to more adventure in their life.
Mm-hmm. And fireworks?
And fireworks, yeah. We have a big festival here in Pedasí today, actually, so those are going to be going off throughout the day and evening. There's another. But yeah, the kind of person who is drawn to Pedasí is drawn to a more laid-back beach sort of lifestyle. However, it's not just all relaxation here. I mean, we do work. There are opportunities, economic opportunities for both expats and locals. Pedasí is a growing community. With a growing infrastructure and a growing array of goods and services. I remember when I first moved to Pedasí, I couldn't get a salad for example. I couldn't find lettuce in the stores.
Oh my
And I would
gosh.
find, B grade vegetables. Today I can get, organic quinoa or Bob's Red Mill organic chocolate chip cookie mix. So the growth in Pedasí that I've seen over the past 10 or so years has also been quite incredible.
Mm-hmm.
We had very poor cell service and internet service back then, and power outages were very routine. Today we have fiber optic internet throughout much of the town and the area, and the power outages, we still do have them. Of course, this is rural Panama, but they're far fewer and further between, and they last for a lot less time.
And speaking of infrastructure, I have to say that road from the Pan American down to here is fantastic. I don't think we dodged a single pothole all the way down.
The road is brand new.
Yeah.
The road is brand new.
It's fantastic.
And that's a relatively, the entire Azuero Peninsula now has a brand new road system essentially.
Wow.
Yeah, so lots of development, lots of investment into this area, and it's worth it. It's a beautiful area. It's worth coming to. It's worth moving to. It's not for everyone.
Right.
It is a small town, so it doesn't have everything that a larger city might. For example, if you're in Pedasí and you want to go to the movies, either you're putting on Netflix in your own living room, or you're driving an hour to Chitré, to the movie theater that has 4 movie theaters, and you're going to watch a movie in Spanish. So hopefully you speak Spanish, or at least you're game enough to try to understand the movie.
Oh, which I guess brings me to another question. Firework guy, please. If you don't speak Spanish, how well are you going to be able to function here in Pedasí?
You'll function fine. You'll function fine. If you do speak Spanish, great. If you don't speak Spanish, you can do everything that somebody who can speak Spanish can do. There's always somebody who's willing to help you. If there's a situation where you need Spanish, say that you're waiting for the cable guy to come and install your cable or whatever. Chances are they're not going to speak English, and if you don't speak Spanish, you're going to have your translator app on your phone, and you're going to be able to get by, and they're going to appreciate the effort, and you're probably going to have a good laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be such a hindrance, but I would recommend, even if you're not good at learning languages, everyone says, I'm not good, I'm terrible, I'm never going to learn Spanish. Just try,
Try.
You'll pick up a little bit here and there, and it does go a long way.
Yeah, and just some basic stuff. And you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be fluent. Just do the best.
And also, the local population will also love to practice their English. So you'll get a kick out of practicing your broken Spanish and hearing their broken English, and vice versa.
Yeah. Going back.
And you'll make a friend.
Exactly.
It's oftentimes a way to break the ice. The fact that you don't speak the language is an icebreaker. And so it can open the door for new opportunities that otherwise you wouldn't have had.
For sure. So the weather, we always hear about the weather is a little different on the Azuero Peninsula as it is in the rest of Panama. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the Azuero Peninsula is really a unique ecosystem. It is characterized mainly by not a humid tropical rainforest, the kind that you get on the Caribbean slope, like in Bocas or in Colón or in Panama City, where you have these lush tropical jungles. We have a dry tropical forest ecosystem, which is unique. It's a habitat that's adapted to a drier weather pattern, which is what we have here in the Azuero Peninsula. So we have, just like the rest of the tropics, we have a wet and dry season, but our dry season is especially marked, and it will go from roughly mid-December to mid-April, beginning of May, where really sometimes not a drop of rain, occasionally maybe 6 or 7 drops will fall in late March or early April. But otherwise, it's just dry, very low humidity, very comfortable. It's still the same temperature, but it's not accompanied by that humidity.
That humidity that's sticking to you.
And can bog you down, right?
Right.
So as a result of that weather pattern and the tropical dry forest ecosystem, it's also really unique in terms of the landscape, because you'll have during the dry season, the landscape will there's no rain, so there's nothing to water the earth. And so everything sort of turns brown and dies back. And a lot of these tree species here in this in these forests are deciduous, so they'll lose
They'll
their
lose their
leaves, and
Interesting.
it's reminiscent of a northern fall almost,
Mhm.
because they'll turn colors and they'll fall, and then you'll see what should be a fall or a winter landscape, but here we are in
It's
Panama.
right.
And as soon as the rains pick up in May or so, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month afterwards, everything, boom, back green. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's probably, even during rainy season, it's rare for you to have like an entire day full of rain from morning to night.
Yeah, we can get them, but it's not
You tend to get the afternoon rains.
It's hard. Yeah, I don't know if we can say afternoon, but typically if it's going to rain, I'd say in any given week we're looking at maybe 3 days of rain, 2 days of cloudy, and maybe a day or two also that's nice sunny weather. That's the general pattern that I've noticed.
That's a good rainy season. So if you're wanting less rain, this would be the area to live in.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be a pro if that's what you're looking
Places like Boquete, while also beautiful, there is a lot more
for. Lots of rain, lots of wind.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move into something that's really important to a lot of people, including myself nowadays, healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that Pedasí is kind of a rural area. So what are your healthcare options here?
Yeah, Pedasí is a rural area, and we do have basic healthcare options. We've got the Pedasí Hospital, the Mitsukashi Hospital, just on the north side of town. And there you can get, an array of general medical services. If you have a cold or you don't feel well, or you want to go get a checkup, you go to the Pedasí Hospital.
You need some stitches.
You need some stitches. I've gotten stitches at the Pedasí Hospital, in fact. When I broke my elbow and I needed an x-ray, I had to go to Las Tablas, which is 30 minutes away. And then Chitré is another 30 minutes beyond that, and that will have an even bigger, more equipped hospital, better staffed. So for routine medical issues or needs, then you can get them satisfied in Pedasí.
Mm-hmm.
For anything that's ongoing or a little bit more specialized, then you're going to need to go to Las Tablas or to Chitré.
So within an hour.
Within an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Within an hour.
All right. And then, which also leads me to, we know that we have excellent healthcare in Panama City. How could you quickly get from Pedasí to Panama City if you needed to? We talked about Air Panama actually flies into Pedasí, which is pretty interesting because they don't have a whole lot of destinations. So it's cool that Pedasí is one of those. So how are the flights working to here?
Yeah, so we have Air Panama service to and from Panama City 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And the ticket is about $90 each way.
Okay.
And it's a 30-minute flight. It's super
Nice.
easy. The airport is 5 minutes outside of town. It's very, you get there 30 minutes before your flight, and you're on your flight. Within 30 minutes, you're in Panama City at Albert Airport. You can also, if you need to get to and from the area and Panama City, and there's not an Air Panama flight to Pedasí, there's a flight 6 days a week to and from Chitré, so just an hour away.
Oh.
And that's a $45 flight.
Wow.
If you book it more than a day in advance, it's $45.
Okay.
So it's great.
So while we're on the topic of transportation, do you need to have a car if you live in Pedasí?
No, it depends where you live, but if you live close to town, then you can get around walking with a bike, taxis. You can get around town. But if you want to go exploring, of course, that's going to be a little bit more challenging if you don't have a car.
If you don't have a car.
Yeah, but in and around town, you can easily get around. I've seen people on side-by-sides, on little scooters also, the bird type scooters. So it's friendly in that way.
Okay, that's good to know. So we were talking earlier about how it's not all retirees moving to Panama. We have so many people who are able to work online now or have become independently wealthy at a younger age, and they want to move to Panama with their families. So when you're moving with your children, the first thing that you need to know about is the schools, and especially if you're living in a rural area in Panama. So what is the school situation in Pedasí?
There are a couple of schooling solutions in Pedasí. We have a Montessori curriculum-based school right in Pedasí, which is very popular with so many expat and local families.
Is it bilingual or Spanish only?
It's actually you're gonna hear at one of those schools several different languages being spoken. The classes, I believe, are in English and Spanish. but you're gonna be, there's gonna be children there who speak Hebrew, English, Spanish, French, German. There's another school in Cañas, which is about 45 minutes drive from Pedasí, and there's a bus service to and from Pedasí from the school daily, and that also seems to be very popular with a lot of the expat parents as well. So
it's a private school? It's a private
school, and it's super cool because the curriculum is like in the morning they'll be looking at the mangrove, in the afternoon they'll be surfing. It's not a traditional
sit at your desk all day, do a worksheet school.
Right.
It's really get out and experience hands-on what's available to you here.
It's a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can get, well, I don't want to say that. We'll edit that part out, please. It's a schooling experience. It's a schooling experience that is very unique. And I think one that is also very enriching for the student.
Absolutely. What ages? Do you know what ages? I know this is not your school, but do you happen to know what ages they go to?
Yeah, I'll get back to you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Just pass you that information.
Yeah, and then we'll just put a text over onto the video. Okay, let's see. We talked about all of those things. Is there anything else on our little list that we made that we're missing?
Touched on some of the amenities, schools.
Oh, well, as far as amenities, what about things like restaurants and grocery stores?
Oh, Pedasí's got a ton of great restaurants. For such a small town, it's got a great number of restaurants, and they're good. They're actually very good. Right across the street.
We just ate at Smiley's for lunch. It was very good.
And we're lucky that we're just right across the street from Smiley's. I've lived here for so long that I can't eat Smiley's that often anymore because I've eaten it so much. There's a number of great restaurants with a variety of cuisine and some very talented chefs in the Pedasí and Playa Banao region. Playa Banao is another area that is within the Pedasí district, so you consider it Pedasí, but it's still its own sort of universe.
Okay.
And it's absolutely worth checking out. Playa Banao, and it's a very, very active market. There's a lot of development going on in Playa Banao right now. So you do have a lot more goods and services being offered down here. Now there's a gas station down in Playa Banao, which is a big deal. Now there's a supermarket, which is a big deal. There's hundreds of hotel rooms on Playa Banao. There's restaurants, shops, and a lot more coming as well.
What is the grocery situation here in Pedasí?
Here in Pedasí, we've got, Panama has your typical, in your larger towns, you're going to have sort of your Rey or Super 99, which are your bigger box sort of grocery store. In the smaller towns, we have smaller sort of convenience stores, but they're extremely well stocked. Like I mentioned, when I first got here, I couldn't get lettuce for a salad.
Right.
And that's no joke. I mean, it was really a challenge. Now I can get any vegetable. I can get a kale if I want it.
Wow.
There's 3.
And that's just at the mini supers
here?
Yeah,
it's just in the mini supers.
Wow.
3 grocery stores. The meats are fresh: chicken, pork, beef, fish. Ironically, we're a small fishing town, and it's quite a challenge to get at fish. You're not buying fresh fish.
You were saying to go down to Arenal and buy just right off the boat, right?
That's right.
Go to the store.
That's essentially what you have to do.
Fantastic.
You'll see guys on the side of the road occasionally selling fish, and then the shrimp guy will be driving around the area selling shrimp out of his car, which are fresh, that day, delicious.
What are they charging a pound about? Do you know?
It depends on the size, but the big langostinos, maybe 7 or 8 inch langostinos, are like $2 a pound.
Wow! Oh my God! $2 a pound. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's give me 10.
Yeah, that's so crazy. All right, let's see. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Anything else? I don't think so. Is there anything else you want to say?
What else to do in Pedasí?
Oh yeah.
Another big draw for people. Another big draw that Pedasí offers for people is the community. The community. I live in Panama now. I first got here in 2006. I came here with the Peace Corps. I live in a small rural community in Colón. I visited all over Panama. I visited communities both small and large. And one thing that I noticed about Pedasí that makes it very unique among the expat destinations where expats will tend to go. You know, they'll go to Bocas or Boquete or Colorado or the Valle. Pedasí is a really unique community. It's got a very bohemian vibe to it. The expats and the locals in Pedasí are very, very well adapted and highly integrated one with the other. You don't have sort of an exclusive gated communities where the expats go and then the locals are over here. No, there's a very high level of integration, not only just with general life, but also with like community groups, like the animal advocate groups, which offer, you know, sterilization clinics for the dogs and cats in the area, and the fundraising, and this, that, and the other. It's really, really unique to see the locals and the expats
working together for the betterment of the community.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if someone was coming to Pedasí and they're trying to check it out, I know that like in Coronado, people can go to certain restaurants and that's where all the expats hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Is there kind of an expat hangout around here where someone would be more likely to run into a bunch of expats to talk their ears off?
Yeah, that would be Smiley's right across the street from my office.
Okay, perfect.
That is the landmark, really.
Okay.
Smiley's.
Are there certain days or is it pretty much every day that there's
expats? It could
expats?
be every day, but Tuesdays and Fridays, and also if there's like a sports game that people want to see, that's when it'll get packed. Tuesdays and Fridays are typically the bigger nights at Smiley's. They'll have live music Tuesdays and Fridays also typically, and very
cool.
good live music too.
Both
local talent and expats playing together. It's a great spot.
Yeah. All right. Well, it seems like Pedasí has a lot to offer to people, so I recommend you come down and check it out. Thank you so much, Jonathan,
Absolutely.
for sharing your knowledge of the area. I can't know everything about everything, so thank you so much for exactly. Thank you so much for helping me out. And if you guys have questions about Pedasí, please come to the I Go Panama Facebook group. Jonathan will be in there asking questions, and I'll also link his information below in the comments. So if you want to reach out to him directly, he does real estate here, no rentals, only sales. But you know, if you're looking to buy, he probably is your guy. That's who you want to talk to.
We can help a little with on the rental side because we're tangentially related to that. But yeah, mainly just sales.
Mainly sales. All right, awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Okay. Absolutely unexpected party in Pedasí. We're leaving Jonathan's, and this is going on. This is what all the fireworks were about. Never know what you're going to come across in Panama.